Can we say, or can we predict that Charlie Kirk's assassination maybe is the beginning of free speech resurrection, or is the actual death of free speech? So there is an element. There's an element of grief on that event. It's not just the fact that he was murdered, but free speech as such is nearly dead.
I just see a lot of reactions coming from right-wing Twitter, pretty much just suggesting revoking free speech for the left, and that not the path I would take. Certainly
it's so
not.
ironic because that's what they say that too.
And that's what Charlie died for, free speech. So it's kind of using his memory in a wrongful way. And I mean, there's plenty of ways our rights have been attacked over the years, and there's plenty of ways they've given ground on civil liberties. But when it comes to free speech, it's fundamentally the most important thing for the future of civilization. Once you cannot critique ideas, can't critique opposition, I mean, we're in a totalitarian system at that point.
Well, and Vitor, you mentioned earlier about sleeping on something. That's always been such a classical way to process things. You know, used to be we all had no choice but to sleep on something because all forms of communication required, whether it was an old school voice call or writing a letter to somebody. And then all of a sudden we had email access. And then we had to reteach ourselves to wait a little bit before that fiery email was sent back to the person. And now with Twitter, the reaction can happen in seconds, and there it is in writing, and there it is billboarded basically for all time, because all of those things can be resurrected and saved and held against a person. And so the natural knee-jerkedness of being a faulty human thinker gets stamped into perpetuity, whether we like it or not, because we are letting ourselves then also through the real-time sharing say things and put ourselves on record in ways that in all previous time was never done that way, because goodness knows humans have never all of it. It's not like people used to all be wise and never say the wrong thing. We've always not been wise. We've always said the wrong thing. But now it gets posted and it gets shared and it can live forever, and it can circle back and come back to someone, Stephen King, who is basically at the top of pop culture, horror, literary scene among all people, tweeted a misquote, and he is paying a bit of a price for it now. And the fact is that to have the gift of the platform that he does have, which is enormous, it's too bad that he's not able to just think it through another couple seconds and use that in some positive way. On the one hand, he might think that that's a positive thing to raise more ire and to faction people off even further. But on the other hand, if you have a voice that big, I think about the good that can be done, the unification in communication. And so it's pretty ironic that even the biggest people can come tumbling down with a 5-second errant moment on their phone.
Yeah, what do you think about all the cancellations coming out of this?
Job losses and such. I think it's interesting that it's happening to the extent that it has, because before people were not held as accountable. I also think, though, that was a function just a few years ago, previous administration, that people were more afraid to stand up. Something as simple as, let's say in the entertainment world and in the sports world, and because I'm pooling our football players right there in the entertainment world as paid professional sports people, is that they're expressing themselves politically in easier ways that are counter to the taking the knee that we all witnessed a few years ago. A few years ago, that was the only acceptable expression at all. And now we're seeing other forms of expression, whether it's the goofy little Trump dance at the point of a home run or whatever. So people are permitting themselves a little bit more freedom in that. Yeah.
But I mean, people on the right were definitely being canceled by, people digging up tweets on the left, sending to employers.
Goes both ways.
Do you think that it should go both ways, or? I mean, or should we be wholesale against people losing their jobs, even if they post something ghoulish online?
Yeah, I think the big question is what we're talking about is accountability. And I think accountability walks hand in hand with civility. And that generally for us humans, faulty thinkers and doers as we are, that requires a moment of forethought before we post or say something.
Yeah.
And we have kind of lost touch of that. We're still the children in the woods where it comes to technology. It's a big beast and we don't really know how to handle it very well yet.
Yeah, that's a good point, that through the accountability, maybe people would learn that reflex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to kind of relearn some of that in this new paradigm.
Yeah.
Just with your permission, I want to encourage the viewers not to be shy. Don't be quiet. Because we have a good few people watching us. I can see the numbers. I'm delighted. But please use the chat box. We are, and if you disagree with us, no problem. We want this to be honest, authentic, and real conversation. So chat box is open. Please make the most of it. And if it happens that you are not really in agreement with one of the things that we say here, no problem. We want to discuss it in an open and transparent manner. Just going to your point, Kiman, of we are new, we are still children to technology. I like that idea, and I really like even more the way you describe it. It's very illustrative. And I saw, I think it was yesterday or this morning, I can't remember, footage of some youngsters celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination on TikTok, and that's I mean, it's needless to say, it's disgusting what they are doing. But the fact that the platform allows hate speech of that level, because there's nothing more of a disgrace like celebrating someone's death